A lot of people don't really know how I became a dating coach, nor how I was able to learn how to meet and attract women and then be able to coach it and teach guys such as yourself. Well, let me tell you a quick story. I'm like you, right? I didn't want people to know that I was not good with meeting women. I don't know about you. It feels like most guys I talk to, especially guys who join our coaching program, they want everything confidential and secret. And I would want the same thing. I mean, even back in the day when I was learning this stuff, I wasn't telling anybody. I didn't tell any of my friends. I wasn't telling people at work. Obviously, I wasn't telling any women or family or any of that. It was like my own little secret, just trying to learn how to get better with women. And I even specifically remember when I was learning this stuff, the only stuff that was available, like YouTube was around, but it didn't have any dating coaches on there or anyone really giving dating advice. So the only thing available was getting either you purchased or you torrented the pickup stuff that you would see, right? So people posting videos with seminars and people recording seminars of PUAs just chatting about how they can help you with meeting women and giving you techniques and things like that. So I remember I would stay up hours past when I should have been going to bed and just sitting in my bed, locked into my computer screen, watching this stuff. And I wasn't even taking notes. I was just, I don't know, it was some sort of almost form of entertainment as it was. I really did want to learn this stuff. So I'd be staying up every single night. My roommates were in the other room. I was sleeping actually in a loft. So I remember I didn't have headphones I would plug into the computer. So I think I was putting the volume down really low and I would just watch this stuff and absorb it. I even remember back in the day, there was this guy, his name is Hypnotica. Maybe he's still around, and he would have these audios that you would listen to that if you listened to them while you slept, it would actually help you build confidence. I don't know if those ever really worked, but let's just say I absorbed so much material over the course of a year that I was really just starting to dig in and understand how things worked. However, with all the material that I watched, it didn't get me far yet. Why? Because I was not able to implement any of this stuff. My approach anxiety was through the roof. It's funny. I get on the phone with guys who are interested in doing coaching with us. And even what they tell me, I'm envious of because I go, wow, okay, you say you have approach anxiety, but you've already told me you've talked to some girls. When I had approach anxiety, I was talking to nobody. Okay, it was that bad. I was so scared. Every time I saw a woman, I'd be shaking and I would never be able to go up and even say hi. That's why I started to research and learn all this stuff and absorb as much information as I could. But then again, like I said, I couldn't go out and use it. So what I ended up doing was I was in these forums that were online where guys would tell their stories and they'd write big reports about them going out and utilizing the material that they would learn about meeting women. And I thought, wow, okay, these guys are putting stuff into practice. And I found one forum that was called a lair, right? So there's these things called pickup lairs, which I cringe at the name of it. And it sounds super creepy, but I was like, all right, these guys are going out and doing stuff. Like, let me see what's going on. So I went to some of these meetings where guys were meeting up, and it was a lot less creepy than you thought. These guys were like me, like normal dudes who were just shy with women, who just wanted to learn how to meet women, and no one doing anything creepy or weird or trying to do anything strange. This was the only thing at the time that you could really get into if you wanted to learn this stuff. So I ended up going to a few of these meetings. I ended up actually, funny enough, going to one of these meetings, and two of the guys there worked at the same corporate offices that I did. I was working for a big production company, a big movie studio. So it was a big campus. So it does make sense that there's a lot of people there and I wouldn't have met them before. But the fact that they both worked there was kind of funny. So I befriended some of those guys, really cool guys. And I started to finally implement the stuff that I was learning. However, I wasn't literally implementing all the stuff that I was learning from those videos I was watching. Instead, I was just going out and I was experimenting because I was never really good at memorizing. I was never really good at, being able to use note cards to study stuff. For me, studying was really hard and really annoying task. I just wasn't really into that. I just barely got by with school and got decent grades, but I had to put so much work into it. So it's like now learning this new stuff, here I am again trying to study. It was annoying. So I just wanted to say, you know what? I'm going to go out there. I'm going to experiment. I learned a few things with flirting. I'm going to test it out. I'm going to see what happens. So what ended up happening was for about a year and a half, I was constantly experimenting, trying things, getting rejected. Some women would reject me, some women wouldn't. I would get sometimes some numbers. Sometimes I would get women to go on dates. It was a very wide variety of results, which anyone is going to find when they finally put themselves out there. If anything, most guys are going to find that they get rejected most of the time. But through the numbers game and through experimenting, you then find that not every girl is going to reject you. Some are just going to like you because they like you, right? Some just will like your look, which is kind of crazy. Like all you'll need to do is just go say hi to them, and you can even fumble through your words, but they think you're kind of cute. You look like their ex-boyfriend or something like that, and then they'll be interested in being with you. But then, of course, there's some women that's not going to happen. There's not that instant attraction that they have. So you have to have a little bit of game and learn how to flirt. So I would start to utilize things that I would learn from pickup stuff, learn the idea of flirting, learn the idea of teasing and being playful in a conversation and doing it in a way that was confident. And the only way I could do that was by repeating it over and over and over, to the point where sometimes I would even screw it up and girls would reject me so hard because I would say something dumb and they would be like, wow, that was ridiculous, and they would just walk off. Talk about humbling, and talk about going through a period of time where I really had to callous myself through this whole process. But the way I was able to master it and truly get good at it was through not giving a shit about what people thought of me, staying as rational and logical and stoic as possible so that I could just see what happened and observe. Everything was about observation. What happens if I say this? Okay, what happens when I say this now? What happens when I try to escalate and break the touch barrier? Okay, what happens if I try to get her number? What happens if I try to leave with her from the bar? What happens if I try to hang out with her on the first date at this place and then this place? It was all just a series of experimentation, which then of course led me to now I have created a system and I help guys and I coach guys through, the program that I offer here. But what was really invaluable was seeing how I would react in these situations. So I'm always encouraging guys like you to experiment with yourself. And even though it's going to be secret, that's okay. You don't have to tell people. You don't have to tell people you're watching videos. You don't have to tell people that you're going out and practicing this stuff. I didn't tell anybody. I was with a couple of guys who were doing it, but even for a while I was doing it without people. And so it's all about being humble, saying, hey, I'm going to go out. I'm going to experience what it feels like to get rejected, experience what it's like to flirt, to try, because there's no book, there's no video, there's nothing that you're going to watch, even this video, that is going to be the best information versus you going out and actually trying it. Now, of course, I have these videos because they do help. They give you that little boost, they give you the little tip that can help you. But at the end of the day, you want to use these videos and not just watch them for entertainment. I did it for too long. I was watching these videos, like I said, for hours every single night. And it took probably about a whole year after watching those videos to really say, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to implement this. I want to fast forward that for you. Do this now. Go out now. Start flirting now. Experiment with something now. Get rejected now. Do it as fast as possible. If you need help, you can join the TripAdvice Accelerator Coaching Program. There's a link down below at tripadvicecoaching.com to get a free call. But I really want you to just put yourself out there as much as you can. To give you that little boost, there's 17 flirty phrases that you can learn. There's a video here on the screen. Watch the video, take one of those, and then just see what happens. Implement it, go out there, and actually execute.